I've always been kind of a Boy Scout, which means you gotta be prepared. My friends over at AFERY sent in this DC to DC charger, and before I go on my trip out to Quartzsite, where I'm gonna have no electricity and no nothing, I wanna make sure that everything in this box is all that I need to get this thing hooked up to my power station. What this thing does is it connects to your battery under the hood, and then it connects to your solar generator or your power station. I guess in this case it's a vehicle generator and not a solar generator, because I'm using a vehicle to fill the battery up, using the vehicle to generate electricity, which I guess uses gasoline to generate. So it's a gas generator. It's a great big gas generator is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we have what appears to be battery cables. That's a nice big fuse right there. Perfect. Safety first. So those are the terminals. I need to check the truck battery terminals and make sure those will fit on there somewhere. And then all the way down the other end, we get this great big Anderson 50 amp connector. And then we have another 50 amp connector to MC4. A lot of your solar generators are also MPPT charge controllers, and they have their own cables that go from MC4 to, in the case of the AFERY P280 I'm taking with me, it's going to be MC4 on one end and XT90 on the charging side of it. So that should work up fine. I'll need to double check it with my solar panels and the power station. Not a problem. Nice big instruction manual, and then there is the charger. Nice little compact box. Ah, okay. So this goes right from the car battery into the DC to DC converter's input port. So that would shove in there, no problem. A little bit of ventilation there. So on the back side here, we've got input 12 to 33 volts. So as long as your alternator is somewhere in that 12 volt range, I guess your bigger trucks might have a 24 volt alternator. 45 amps max. We've got that big old fuse, which is actually, it looks like a 70. 600 watts max input. Standby voltage 11.8 to 12, which is where this thing will put itself down into standby. 12 volt vehicle system. Input voltage 12 to 18, 24 volt vehicle system, input voltage 24 to 33. That sounds like what I just said. Input voltage deadband. Interesting. To figure out what that is. DC output 47 to 49 volts, 15 amp max. Output rated, so you definitely want to plug this into something that's got a charge controller on it. This is not a 12 volt charger or a lithium iron phosphate battery charger. This goes into your solar charge controller, and then your solar charge controller will do some magic. And remember, your power stations are solar charge controllers. Maximum output power 580, so it can take 600 in and 580 out. There's a little bit of conversion efficiency losses in there. Sleep power consumption, 0.3 watts. Okay, so it's not gonna drain my truck. It'll take months to drain my truck. My truck's got 2 batteries in it. Operating temperature, 10 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees Celsius. Do not block ventilation holes. So it's got through-hole ventilation on both sides. And then that's the red input side, and that's the gray output side to go to the charge controller. And then a clicky power switch. It's a pretty sexy looking box. I like it. Godzilla. You have to say that when you open up the hood on a Godzilla motor truck. If I had another nut, I could put it onto that one. Do I have one on those on this side too? Come on. Nope. And this cap here is actually the tension. So when you tighten this down, it squeezes this shut onto the negative terminal on the battery, or the positive if we're looking at the positive. And my truck's got 2 batteries. So is this one here any better? Come on, open up. Okay, so there is a stud on the positive battery side over here, and a stud on the negative battery side over there. So this one might be a better one to run it off of. And then here is the part in the owner's manual. All of the rest of this is a different language. So there isn't a whole heck of a lot. It basically just says connect the input on the DC to DC charger using the right cable to your vehicle. Ta-da! I've got all the tools in the truck to connect it up to the battery. The battery's already got the studs on it with the nuts, so I'll be able to secure that down just fine. I think this falls under the category of better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, because I went through my stuff, I went through my bag of stuff, my box of tricks, and I found some other stuff I think might be helpful for my particular situation. That DC to DC charger puts out 45 volts, so I need something to convert that over to regular battery voltage. So I've got a little Victron here that will take the input from that DC to DC charger. Yes, it's a solar charger, but it doesn't know that it's not receiving electricity from a solar panel or from the sun. It's just getting 40 some volts and needs to convert it down to 14 some volts. So that's what I'm going to use this for. On the end of that, I've got my power pole connections that I use on everything. And I really should change one of those to be yellow, I know. And then I've got power pole to XT60 in case I want to charge something like that. And then from the power poles, I also have MC4 connectors. And in case that one doesn't have the right gender or whatever, I've got another one here that I can rearrange. I don't know why I'm bringing two, but you know, I got a big pickup truck. I might as well use it. And then that thing has Anderson, I think these are called SB50s on it, but these are 50 amp Anderson connectors. And so I have one of those that goes to power poles. So this will actually plug directly into the output side of the DC to DC charger and plug into the input side of the solar charge controller. And then I also have one of these that goes to bare terminals in case I don't want to use that big long honking wire. I can just use this. In a normal situation, that big long cable that they gave me that goes from the battery would go under the truck, zip tie it along next to some other wires, keep it away from hot stuff. In the back of the truck bed, there is a throughput hole portal thing, whatever you want to call it, to shove wires from underneath from outside into the truck bed. That is inside of my toolbox, and that DC to DC charger can live inside that toolbox just fine. I think I'm good to go. When we get to quartzsite, I'll finish up the other half of this video and we'll see if I was right. So I made it to quartzsite with the truck camper. She is all set up for her first night trial. Normally I like to do the trial when I am closer to safety, but I kind of ran out of time. Trial by fire it is. Let's take a walk around and see what it looks like during the daytime. Of course, I brought the yellow blur. We're in the desert. I want to ride around and see all the sights. I got my camping chair set up out here. This is a very lightweight, very compact swiveling camp chair. And it actually fits in the top case on the back side of the bike. And then over here, we are all set up. I've got my -5-degree sleeping bag. I've got an air mattress pad. I've got all of my clothes for the next couple of days in there. And then, of course, you guys know the key players. I've got the diesel heater there. I've got the composting toilet there. But I brought this one here because it has all of the USB ports on it. So I figured, why not? Then I've got a ton of battery backups as well, besides the AFERY P280 power station and the Power Queen. The Power Queen's 125 amp hours. I probably won't run that one dry. Let me take a look real quick. Haven't done a whole lot of draining on it, 98%. It's telling me it's 69.8, which is the temperature in the back of the truck cap here. But what I have done with that, let me get out of the sunlight. What I have done with that is winch the bike in, winch the bike out, tested the diesel heater with the exhaust panel on the back of the truck bed, and that's it. So I don't expect to have used too much. We'll see how that lasts throughout the week and give you a report at the end of the week. And I totally forgot, I always have that in the back of the truck. That is my IceCo cooler. It's a 12-volt refrigerator. So I plugged that in, and now I've got cold drinks and cold food for upcoming meals. And a quick look at the weather forecast says it's almost 80 here today and 44 overnight low. I gotta tell you, man, this has got better mood lighting than my RV does. This is a little Ogery. I'll leave a link in the description for you, but this is a little light that I got off of Amazon. It's gotta be, I don't know, like less than $15. And they're just little tiny LEDs. It's got its own built-in battery. That's so cool looking. And then the truck has got this built-in light. Let me see if I can turn this on in the dark. The truck has got this built-in light that if I wanted to see, I can turn on the bright lights and see everything. And then they just dim out all so nicely. That's pretty cool though. It's gonna be so warm and cozy in there tonight. I'm never gonna wanna go back to the RV. This is Tuesday morning. I have been here since Thursday night. And we're getting to the point where it might be a little irresponsible to let the battery drain any farther, just in case anything happens. Let me show you where the battery's at right now. Oh, great. Reflection time. I love it. We do it this way. There was a little bit in there. There we go. All right, so the battery's at 28%, and it's saying it's got 99 hours of runtime left. But what I'm doing is I am charging up my laptop, and I've got all my extra cables and stuff up here so that I can charge my cell phone, and I can charge my radio, and I can charge my fancy watch here. And I'm also running a 12-volt refrigerator here. This thing has been fantastic. Keeps my food cold, keeps my drinks cold, and that keeps my belly warm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this DC to DC charger and the truck's engine to charge it up for a little bit just to show you how that works, and then I might switch over to solar. Or I might run both the solar and the DC to DC at the same time, because this AFERY P280 power station, she's got two inputs. She's got two MPPT charge controllers built in. So these things here are designed specifically to work with power stations. It will take amperage from your truck motor, and it will convert that into 48 volts and as many amps as it can get. It's up to 580 watts output on this thing, so that you can charge your power station. But you're going to need something to change it from 48 volts down to whatever your charging profile is for your battery. Let's say 14.6 for a lithium iron phosphate battery. And what I did yesterday, I'll show you here in a second, is I plugged this into an MPPT charge controller and then plugged that into a battery, and I charged the battery up off of the truck. That was pretty slick. But now I got to get this power station set up. So on the side of the unit over here, if I can get this open, I've got these two XT90s, and that's just the name of those yellow connectors, and they come in two different sizes. The power station itself came with an XT90 connector that goes to MC4 on the other side, and then the DC to DC charger came with, I think this is called an SB50 from Anderson, that goes to the other side of those MC4 connectors. So all I need to do is plug that in to either one of those two charge controller ports and get it in there nice and tight, and then take this and plug it into the DC to DC charger. And now we have the truck running, and you can see I'm putting in 560 watts, and it's going to take 3 hours to charge the battery up to full. So sitting still in a campground with the bright ball of fire right there is not really the best use of this DC to DC charger. I'm just doing this as an example. The way you would really do this is to permanently install this in the vehicle, and then as you're driving, it will recharge your power station for you. Imagine this in a Class B or a Class C or even a Super C or a Class A RV. I guess all the ones with wheels and motors of their own is what I was getting at. As you're driving from campsite to campsite, it's recharging your power station. And with this AFERY P280 with the dual inputs, you can charge from solar panels on the roof and from the DC to DC at the exact same time. But it is also a fantastic piece of utility to have. Now I have turned my big Ford F350 tow beast into a very tiny generator. But if I'm already driving somewhere, it's super efficient to use some of that excess electricity. Before you attach this thing to your truck, make sure that your truck's alternator and charging system is up to the task of running this thing. My 2024 F350 handles it just fine. I'm going to shove about half an hour worth of charge into this, which will use my alternator to recharge the truck batteries as well as the batteries here, and I'm going to the store to get some stuff. This thing works really good just plugged into the battery. It does put out a high amount of voltage, but there's no reason why you can't run it into a good solar charge controller and then into a battery. So we've got about 48 volts coming out of the DC to DC charger. It's going into the solar charge controller, and then that is finding out how to make it into 12 volts to get it into this 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery, and we're charging up. And this is what it looks like on the Victron. Voltage is 47.73 something coming in from the DC to DC charger, which is about 6 amps. And voltage going out to the battery is 14.2, which is 20 amps. And if you do all the math behind the scenes, that's what those numbers will translate into anyway. We're in a state of absorption. And I just started charging this thing. I don't know why it says yesterday and 2 days ago. I haven't used this thing for months. There you go, 270 watt hours going into the battery. So that is 1/5 full at this point. We're doing a little picture-in-picture here. This is the really cool thing about this. It's going to take a while for the truck to settle down, but if I turn the truck off, there's the key for the truck, we should see the DC to DC charger shut down. There she goes. It is smart enough to know not to run when the engine is not on. It just automatically detects the voltage differential. So that was perfect. And then the grand total I put in about half an hour, 310 watt hours is what we sucked out of the truck. So I just turned gasoline into battery charge. So I have the world's largest 7.3 liter gas powered generator ever. Well, I don't. They make much, much larger gas powered generators, but it's not as funny as charging a battery with a pickup truck. If you'd like more information on the DC to DC charger or the P280 or any of the other stuff I showed in the video, there will be links in the description down below. In the meantime, there's a video right over here I think you might enjoy next. I'll see you over there.